नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति स्वामिन्ते नमिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता as it is. Chapter 2, text number 23. नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न शयनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुतः. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. We Read the purport partially. Read from the statement in the first paragraph in the middle. Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age.
Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons. But formerly, there were only weapons made of all different types of material elements.
Wait. So there are different types of elements, and according to the scripture, the classification is earth, water, fire, air, ether. Five gross elements. So the weapons can be made of all these five: earth, water, fire, air, ether. You shoot the bullet to someone, that is the weapon made of earth. You throw the bomb somewhere, that is the weapon made of fire. When you shoot the bullet, it just goes inside the body and maybe spread some poison inside, but nothing burns, no fire comes out. But when you throw the bomb, so much fire comes out. So in the modern times, mostly we have weapon of earth and fire. We don't have any weapon of water, air, ether. But during Vedic times, they could make the weapon made of all these five: earth, water, fire, air, ether. So none of these weapons, whether it may be of earth or water or fire or air or ether, can kill the soul, because soul belongs to an element which is beyond all these five. Something which can be burnt can be affected by the fire weapon. Something which cannot be affected, for example, let's say plastic. Plastic cannot become wet. So you cannot destroy the plastic by water weapon. So and any object which is destructible by an element, only that weapon can destroy it. Soul is beyond all these five. Another thing I would say. Because plastic has very less water element, that is why it cannot be destroyed by water. Inside that element should be there. For example, wood. It has fire element inside. So it can be destroyed by the fire. For example, depending upon how what kind of element combination is there, based on that, uh, destructive potency is determined. So, for example, a very big stone wall is there. You cannot destroy it with fire weapon. What fire weapon will do? Only burn it. These are stones. It cannot be burnt. You have to destroy that stone wall only with earth weapon. Only with earth weapon. When earth weapon will come, then only that stone wall will be shaken up. So stone wall has lot of earth element inside. So it requires earth weapon to destroy it. Understood? Right. So like that. So so the fighter has to have the knowledge. What kind of situation is there? One of the element is water weapon. You throw that water weapon, lot of water will shower. So let's say someone has thrown the bomb and is burning everything. How to stop that weapon now? You throw the water weapon. But that kind of knowledge we don't have. What happens in the modern times? Someone has thrown the bomb, I also throw the bomb on another side. My place is getting burnt and their place also gets burnt. So only destruction. We don't have the knowledge of weapons to stop the destruction. So fire weapon can be counteracted by water weapon. So first science is what you want to destroy, you have to have clear understanding. What kind of weapon shall I use to destroy it? For example, forest is there, big forest is there. It doesn't make sense to use water weapon to destroy the forest. If you want to destroy the forest, use the fire weapon. The whole forest will be destroyed. So this knowledge should be there that what kind of objects can be destroyed by which weapon. This is one point. The second point of knowledge is that if some weapon is thrown, how can I counteract that weapon? So both the knowledge are important. In the modern times, we don't have any knowledge of counteracting the weapon. A purely earth weapon is there, purely earth weapon. And that too, only sword or some other those type of purely earth weapon. They can be counteracted. But if bullet is thrown, it's difficult to counteract it. If you wear some bullet shield, then it is possible, but very difficult otherwise. So like that. So different types of weapons are there. So here it is said, read the first line itself, first line of the paragraph.
All kinds of weapons, swords, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc., are unable to kill the spirit soul.
So sword is earth weapon and tornado is air weapon. So soul is beyond all this earth, water, fire, air, ether. So soul cannot be killed by all these things. And soul is anyway cannot be killed because soul is eternal. So nuclear weapons of the modern age are fire. Okay. Read further.
Fire weapons were counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to modern science. Nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapons. Nevertheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of scientific devices.
Hmm. So soul is eternal, cannot be destroyed. Read further.
The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence, simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusory energy.
Wait. Soul in this world is covered by illusion. How that happens, Mayavadis are unable to explain. They do say that when soul comes into this material world, it gets covered by material modes. But why the soul comes into material existence? That they cannot explain. We say that because of the independent desires away from the Lord, soul comes into material existence. There is a verse. What is that verse? कृष्ण भूलिया जीव যখন भोग वांछा करे निकटस्थ माया तारे झपटिया धरे. Whenever living entity desires for fulfillment of his own independent mentality, he wants to have enjoyment, desires of enjoyment, then he comes to this material world. So this is how we explain. Mayavadis cannot say like this because, according to them, a soul in its liberated condition is supreme soul. According to them, a soul in its liberated condition is supreme soul, God. So how God, who is the supreme power, can be covered by his own energy? We cannot explain it. We don't say that soul is God, so we can explain it. Okay. So Mayavadis are unable to explain. Read further.
Nor were it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original supreme source. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the supreme soul.
Hmm. See, here it is says soul cannot be cut. If soul cannot be cut, supreme soul also cannot be cut. Okay. If supreme soul cannot be cut, and according to Mayavadi, soul in its liberated condition is supreme soul, right? According to Mayavadi, soul in its liberated condition is supreme soul. Supreme soul cannot be cut, then how soul is existing independently in its own position? Understood? Soul cannot be cut. Supreme soul also cannot be cut. If it cannot be cut, how soul came into existence? So this is where Mayavadi philosophy is wrong. Okay, wait. So it is not possible to cut the individual soul. Read further.
Because they are atomic individual souls eternally sanatan. They are prone to be covered by the illusory energy, and thus they became separated from the association of the Supreme Lord.
Wait, wait. So Mayavadis cannot explain. We explain it. How we explain it? We say that soul is not God. Soul is atomic soul, part and parcel of God. And because soul is part and parcel of God, that soul can be covered by illusory energy. That soul cannot be covered by illusory energy. Illusory energy is also Lord's power. So Lord can empower illusion to cover the soul. Lord can. For example, I will give you a simple example. Prime Minister's son and Prime Minister's servant, who is in greater position? Son. Now son is not listening, let's say. So so Prime Minister will say to servant, my son is not listening. Take him for some punishment. Like that. Or son is not studying properly, Prime Minister will say to some teacher, beat him and make him study. So the teacher is getting the permission to beat the son. So teacher is taking the higher position than the son. But son is higher in higher position because he is Prime Minister's son. Understood? So like that, soul is Lord's energy. Soul cannot be covered by illusion. Soul is in higher position in one sense. But by Lord's empowerment, only illusion covers the soul. Clear? Yes. So, one just a minute. So we are studying so much about the soul. Sometimes it appears that we are studying Bhagavad Gita, where two armies are there together to fight, and we are studying so much in-depth knowledge about the soul. This doesn't match with the situation which is happening in the battlefield. Point is that this foundational understanding about soul, God, karma, material world is very much important to take the right decisions in our life, to perform the right dharma in our life. This foundational knowledge is very important. And the situation which is there in the battlefield is this only: what shall I do? What duty shall I perform? To fight or to protect my family members? So, the answer of this confusion can come only if we have foundational knowledge very, very clear. So, this is the basic understanding about the soul to answer this confusion. That is why Krishna is speaking about the soul and Shiva Prabhupada is explaining in good detail about the soul. So, soul is atomic, and by Lord's empowerment, the soul gets covered by illusion, and thus they become separated from the association of Supreme Lord. It doesn't become separated as such. Prime Minister's son remains Prime Minister's son only. But Prime Minister is not coming to protect the son when teacher is beating. It appears to be separated, but he is not separated. So, like that, soul appears to be separated from the Supreme Lord. We all appear to be separated from the Supreme Lord. Just like son appears to be separated from the Prime Minister. Son may feel that what is this? My father is not protecting me. Isn't it? Son appears to be separated from Prime Minister. Like that, we appears to be separated from the Supreme Lord. Actually, we are always in the shelter of the Supreme Lord, even now. But we don't feel it because we are covered by illusion, isn't it? Son doesn't feel Prime Minister's protection when he is beaten by teacher, isn't it? So like that, we don't feel Lord's shelter because we are covered by illusion, but we are all the time in complete shelter of the Supreme Lord, even now, always. So individual soul gets covered by illusion only by Lord's empowerment. And then the analogy is given, read it. Just as the,
Sparks of fire.
yeah, read.
Just as the sparks of fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire.
Wait. So a spark, a fire is burning, and a spark comes out of the fire. That spark is also have the same quality as the fire. But because of the power of external energy like air or water or some other thing, that spark potency will be diminished soon. So if that spark remains with the fire, it will remain all the time very hot and flame will be there. But because that spark came out of the fire, that got covered by other material elements, and the spark potency gets diminished. Similarly, when soul desires to enjoy independent of the Supreme Lord, then material energy, illusory energy covers it. See, spark comes out of the fire physically. Spark comes out of the fire physically. Soul doesn't comes doesn't go away from the shelter of the Lord physically. Never. Hare Krishna. Soul is never away from the shelter of Lord physically. It's subtle. Hare Krishna. What is that subtle? Soul desires to enjoy independent of Supreme Lord. Only in desire we got separated. Only in thought process, not physically. Physically, we are not away from Supreme Lord, even now. Sometimes we say that spiritual world is there and I am here. It's actually not like that. It is actually not like that. It appears like that. The spiritual world is there and I am here. It appears like that. I will explain it with one. Let's say two dots are there. Distance between those two dots will depend upon from where you see. That you have to, you have to do experiment if you like. If you see those two dots are here, and if you see from front, some distance will appear. If you see from, let's say these two dots are here, if you see from here, then what you will see? Those two dots, no distance, zero. Understood? If you saw from the middle, the distance will further small. Like that. The distance between the two dots depends upon from where you see. Similarly, distance between the spiritual world and the material world or earth planet appears so much depends upon our consciousness. If you are very much deeply spiritual, devotional, highly Krishna conscious, you are in the spiritual world. I'm just giving one example that this physical distance which we are talking, it is only because of our consciousness. Just like physical distance between the two dots is only because of from where you are seeing it. Similarly, physical distance between spiritual and material is only because of from what kind of consciousness you are perceiving. Clear? So we are always in the shelter of the Supreme Lord. It's only because of material consciousness this gap appears, this distance appears. And what is that material consciousness? That I want to enjoy independent of the Lord. I am Lord. To that degree, this material consciousness is there. To that degree, we are away from the Lord. To the degree you are highly Krishna conscious, you are very close to Lord. Very, very close to Lord. Lord is there with you. Understood? So like that. So it's not a physical distance between Lord and us. It's only the distance of different consciousness, separated consciousness. This gap, this distance is on the subtle level, not on physical level. To the degree we can change our consciousness to Krishna consciousness, to the degree you are very close to Lord. And that is why Srila Prabhupada would always say, I am with the Supreme Lord. I am with the Supreme Lord. So like that. So, so we have to change our consciousness. We are there with the Lord. Okay. So example is given of spark and fire. So it gets separated physically and gets diminished because of other elements in the nature. So both spark and fire in one quality, but because spark gets separated from the main fire element, and because spark is very small, so it gets diminished. The similar soul is also very small, but if it is in the shelter of the supreme soul, then it cannot be diminished. Okay. Yes. Read further.
In the Varaha Puran, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the Supreme.
Yes. Separated means again not physically. Whenever the word separated use with the concept, the imagination comes of physical separation, not physical separation, not physical separation. Separation in consciousness, not physical separation, separation in consciousness. Okay, so that has happened. Yes.
They are eternally so. They are eternally so. According to the Bhagavad Gita, also, so even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity, as is evident from the teachings of the Lord Arjuna.
Wait. See, separate identity means individual identity, and separated, both are different things. Lord, every living entity is individual. Lord has his own individuality, living entity has its own individuality. That way, living entity and Lord are separated, different individuality, but separated away, not physically, only in consciousness. Okay, read further.
As is evident from the teachings of the Lord to Arjuna. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna.
Yes. So when we become Krishna conscious, then we come in the shelter of Lord. That separation which was there with the Lord becomes zero. That doesn't mean that we merge with the Lord. That doesn't mean we merge with the Lord. Our individuality remains. Consciousness becomes one. Desire becomes one. Becoming liberated means becoming one with the desire of the Lord, not becoming one with the Lord. Understood? Becoming liberated means becoming one with the desire of the Lord, not becoming Lord. And becoming conditioned also doesn't mean being physically separated from the Lord. It only means becoming different from the desire of the Lord. Clear? Conditioning means becoming different from the desire of the Lord. Liberation means becoming one with the desire of the Lord. That's all. So it's not a physical distance, it's only the distance of consciousness. Clear? So this understanding is very important. It gives us so much relief that I am in the shelter of Lord. I am not away from Lord. It's not a very big physical distance which I have to cross. It's only my mentality which I have to reform. Focus becomes very much different. Otherwise, we think that I have to do this and do this, and physically you calculate that this happened, something like that. Nothing like that. It's only consciousness. So, with this understanding, we should feel some encouragement and confidence that I can also purify my heart, becoming one with the desire of the Lord, and thus remain in the shelter of the Supreme Lord. Okay, next verse.
Ravi,
Yes,
you are saying that it's Lord's illusionary energy which is separating us.
yes.
And if this illusionary energy is Lord's strength only, then why is it that we cannot overcome them?
Your question doesn't appear logical. Say it
No,
again.
means if this illusionary energy is Lord's energy, and if our consciousness uh, is whatever Lord desires, we have to desire the same thing. So if it's Lord's illusionary energy, why we can't overcome? Because we have the same properties or same uh, what do you say characteristics what the Lord has. He is more powerful. I agree with that. So he can generate illusionary energy. We cannot. So we are covered by his energy. But why we can't overcome this illusionary energy?
If Lord is empowering illusory energy, you cannot overcome it.
We should have the same characteristics or properties which the Lord has.
Definitely, but Lord is. I gave you the example. Prime Minister's son, and Prime Minister is empowering the teacher. Teacher is beating the son.
Yeah, but means we can overcome what the teacher is able to do it, na? Because we want to have the same desire as the Lord, right? If whatever the Prime Minister desires,
If son is not studying, teacher will beat the son. If son doesn't want the beating of the teacher, then son should study.
yeah, he will study, but we are not able to overcome that illusionary energy.
You become good devotee of Krishna, you will be able to overcome illusion. Just like son, if his son studies well, he will not get the beating of the teacher. You practice Krishna consciousness nicely, you will not be covered by illusion. Because we are not practicing Krishna consciousness, we are having independent enjoying desires. So illusory energy is covering us.
Misuse of the free will.
Huh?
It is a misuse of the free will which Lord has given to everyone.
That is what you are saying is correct, but putting a simple logic. Son doesn't study, teacher beats the son. You have the tendency to enjoy independently, not follow, not becoming one with the desire of the Lord. Illusion energy will cover you. Illusion energy will beat you. Simple. Okay? Think. We'll go ahead. अच्छेद्योयम अदायोयम अक्लेद्यो शस्य एव च नित्य सर्वगत स्थानुर अचलोयम सनातनः. Read translation. Read.
No, this individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, insoluble, and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same.
Yes. So earth weapon breaks. Earth weapon breaks. Fire weapon burns. Water weapon, water weapon, water weapon dissolves. Okay. And air weapon dries up. Different weapons do different things. Soul can neither be broken. Soul is insoluble. Soul cannot be burned. Soul cannot be dried. Understood? None of these weapons can affect the soul. Soul is eternal, everlasting. Soul is present everywhere. Can you be can you remain inside the water? Can you remain inside the water? No. Because water is not a comfortable element for you. You can be on earth, but not on water. Can you be on air? No. Because again air element is not comfortable for you. But soul, can you be inside the fire? No, you will burn. That is not a comfortable element. But soul can be everywhere. In the earth, water, fire, air, ether, everywhere. It is not affected by any of these things. We are very much affected by the water and fire and air, isn't it? We are very much affected by it. Soul is not affected by it. So soul can be present everywhere. Understood? And definitely soul is present everywhere. Soul is present in the air. So many there are soul is present in so many different bodies. There are 84 lakhs types of bodies. So there could be very, very just like small ant. Sometimes ants are very, very small, very small. They may be crawling on your hand, and you may be feeling something is there, but you cannot see it. And if we see our skin in microscope, maybe some other things which may be visible to us. So like there's something maybe in the air also. So many bodies are there, and soul is there everywhere. Okay. So soul is present everywhere. Soul is eternal, and soul is unchangeable. It doesn't change. It remains as it is. It gets covered. That's all. Just like diamond, it may get covered by the dirt, but it is diamond only. It doesn't change. Wait. Soul is unchangeable, and soul is immovable. We have to explain this. Soul is immovable. How to explain this? Soul is immovable. Hmm. Hmm. Unchangeable, immovable. It means you cannot just like just like you hit a mountain. You take some take some strong iron piece and hit the mountain. What will happen? Something will break. Something will break. But so something will break, but it will not move. It will not move, isn't it? You hit the soul with the same iron rod. Nothing will break in the soul, and soul will not be moved. Understood? Nothing will happen to the soul. Soul is immovable. Just like mountain is immovable, soul is also immovable. You can apply any type of weapon, When Krishna was lifting Govardhan, Indra thought, I will bring very strong airs. With that strong blow of air, I will make the mountain go away from Krishna's finger. And then all the Brajbasis will be killed by a strong shower of rain. So he tried it. Had a huge wind, but nothing happened. So that Govardhan was immovable. So like that soul is immovable. You can apply air weapon, earth weapon, water weapon, anything. Soul is immovable and eternally the same. Clear? Always remains as it is. So we may be appearing conditioned now, but we as soul are the same as in the spiritual world. Nothing has happened to us. Only illusion. We are in troubled situation. Just like nothing has happened to the nothing has happened to you. Only your bike was hit by someone, not you, but you feel pain. So like that, nothing has happened to the soul. Only something happens to your to the fulfillment of your desires. Only there something happens to the fulfillment of your material desires, and you feel pain. That's all. Nothing has happened to you. So you just change your desires. Be Krishna conscious. Everything will be good then. So soul never changes. Soul remains eternally the same. And soul always exists. Krishna was always, after Krishna attained the 16 years age, Krishna always remained 16. Krishna always appeared to be 16. So, so like that, soul is always everlasting. Yeah, soul is always remains the same. So Krishna remained the same, 16. But after after maybe let's say 150 years, he left the world. He was no more as he was performing his Leela. So he was not everlasting from that perspective. Krishna is everlasting, but from another perspective, Krishna is not there now. Krishna has disappeared. Krishna is not everlasting. The soul is everlasting. Just trying to explain you that soul is always existing. Clear? So soul is always existing, and he always exists in the same manner, eternally the same, and he is present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable. This is how the soul is. Read further.
All these qualifications of the atomic soul definitely prove that the individual soul is eternally the atomic particle of the spirit whole, and he remains the same atom eternally without change. The theory of monism is very difficult to apply in this case because the individual soul is never expected to become one homogeneously.
The theory of monism is becoming one with the Lord. How can it happen? Because soul is eternally the same. If soul is the way soul is now, it will be the same afterwards. So how soul will be merged with the Lord? If soul is merging with the Lord, then something changed, some different thing is happening. It doesn't mean it will be the same. And it is saying soul is eternally the same. So theory of monism is not correct then. Okay, read further.
After liberation from material contamination, the atomic soul may prefer to remain as a spiritual spark in the effulgent rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the intelligent souls enter into the spiritual planets to associate with the Personality of Godhead.
So when you become liberated, there are multiple options. One option is remain in Brahmajyoti. Second option is remain in Vaikuntha. The third option is go to Goloka when you become liberated. So those who are devotees, they will prefer to go to Vaikuntha or Goloka because devotees want to service. There is no service in Brahmajyoti. In Vaikuntha you can do some service, in Goloka you can do some service. So that is why devotees who are considered as intelligent souls enter into spiritual planet to associate with the Lord and to serve Him. And those who are not intelligent, they may go to the Brahmajyoti, or here it is written as effulgent rays of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Yes, ask your question.
As you said, soul never get affected by anything, even in the fire. At the same time, we being soul, whatever we are doing, we get affected by the
Huh?
things. Whatever we are doing, we get affected by the things because we are soul. So, as you said, because we are in the illusion, we feel affected. So, when soul did some misdeeds or something, and he goes to hell, so whatever punishment will be there, that is also illusion, and because we get affected here by so many things, and as you said, that is our conditioned nature. Because of our conditioning, we are feeling affected. So when we go into the hell, that punishment also illusion or our condition, how we take it.
Pain is reality, but the the cause of pain is illusion. You are troubled. Why? Because your bike is your bike is destroyed by some other person. That is the cause of your pain. Your bike is destroyed by someone. This causes illusion. Is it your bike? It's not your bike. Understood? So pain is reality, cause of pain is illusion. So in the hell, you will be beaten up. Pain is reality. Cause of pain is you are thinking I am body, isn't it? So cause of pain is illusion, not the pain.
If pain is reality, means I'm getting pain, but I'm a spirit soul. So how I will get pain?
You are a spirit soul, but you think that I am body. You think that I am body, so cause of pain is illusion. Okay? That's all. You are thinking. If you think I am soul, it's not a question of just thinking. I mean, you may say, I'm thinking I'm soul. If you have thought you are soul, you will not go to the hell. It's your only words. It's only your intelligence which is saying that I am soul, not your behavior. If you really think that I am soul, then just be Krishna conscious. Why you are running after so much of material fulfillment? If you really think that I am soul. So we all say that I am soul. It's only in words with our intelligence, not in our real mentality. In mind we say that I am body. In mind we behave on the bodily level. With intelligence we say that I am soul. That's all. You have the option. Chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra or eat prasad. What you will do? Mostly we eat prasad. What does it show? Isn't it? We are on bodily level. We may say that I am soul, but actions are all on bodily level.
Means whatever punishment I'm getting here or even in this hell, that is illusion only. There is
Cause
no.
of pain is illusion,
Hmm.
not pain.
Hmm.
Pain is reality. Cause of pain is illusion. Okay? So we think that I am body, that is illusion. And because of that only we feel pain. Cause of pain is illusion. Pain is reality. Always remember this. Pain is reality. Cause of pain is illusion. So whenever you are suffering, that is reality. But what is the cause of that pain? There some illusion is existing. Find that illusion which is making you so much painful.
Means this body is illusion.
Body is reality.
Hmm.
To think that I am body is illusion.
Body belongs to Krishna is reality.
Yes,
But I'm thinking this body is mine, so that
that
is
is
illusion,
that is illusion.
and that gives me pain.
Yes. Okay. So cause of pain is illusion. You have to understand what is that illusion which is causing me so much pain. So we all will experience different pains in our life. When the painful situation happens, try to break the illusion instead of increasing the illusion. Everyone suffers, everyone gets a painful situation. And in that painful situation, they increase the illusion. In that painful situation, they increase the illusion by blaming someone or by doing someone is in very much painful. What to do? Kill him, murder him, or drink so much of liquor, or smoke so much, or fight with someone. This is what people do when they're in painful situation. When they're in painful situation, they will blaspheme some other people, isn't it? Insult some people like that. I am suffering. I will not allow others to live peacefully. This is how people react. So they increase the illusion in their painful situation. Instead of increasing the illusion, Break the illusion which is causing you pain. Think deeply. What is the cause of your pain? What kind of illusion is lying there? Break that illusion, and in that way reduce your pain. This is how we have to do it when the painful situation comes. Try to practice it. You will feel very good if you practice this way. But if you increase the illusion, more pain is going to come. More pain is going to come. Just like when you are caught up in the quicksand, the more you move your hands and legs to come out of it, the more you will go inside. It's like that. You are in a painful situation, the more you act materially in that painful situation, more pain is going to come. Act spiritually. Find the cause of illusion and break that illusion. And this will become liberated from the pain. So try to become liberated from the small pains in your life, and gradually the bigger pain, and gradually the whole body itself. That's how we will try. Okay. Anything else? Shiva Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
You said that we cannot break the illusion.